Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope you've had a good week. Hope you are healthy and hope all of your family are healthy as well too. So this week we're going to be focusing on doing another watercolor painting. I enjoyed that watercolor painting last week, so thought I would do another one this week. I'm just doing some fruits and some pear fruits on a tree. I'm just sketching these out real quick so I have a reference for how I'm going to start. I'm not doing all of my sketching out, but I just want to have a guide to sort of direct me, and I am working from a reference picture on this one. I think it's always good to work from a reference. Sometimes you have to let your creative side out, but I think it's a good idea if you're a beginner to work using a reference. So that's what I'm doing today. Hope you guys are staying safe. I know a lot of you will be in quarantine, and I'm hoping that you're trying to stay sane while you're in quarantine, because I know it's such a highly unusual set of circumstances we find ourselves in. I think with watercolor it's always a good idea to have a sketch or layout how you're gonna do your drawing, because if you do make a mistake it's so hard to correct on watercolor. So I find it easier. Some things I can appreciate you won't be able to sketch, but others you will. So I'm gonna stop the talking and continue with my painting. You know what? I think this is gonna be a talk video. I'm just putting down a little bit of water. I don't want to saturate my paper, but I do want the paper to receive that color once I put it on there. So my brush is damp. I'm just using my paper towel just to soak up any excess, because this paper, watercolor paper, does tend to curl up when you've put too much or overworked your painting. So just so I don't have any sort of overworking, I'm just going in with a paper towel. Yep. So now I'm going to start to put some color, and I'm going to start with, I think I'm going to start with a yellow at the back, because with watercolor you can go over lighter colors, but if you've got a lighter color and then a darker color in the background and you want to go over that, you can't. It's nearly impossible. I think there are some techniques, but I'm still focusing on sort of painting for beginners. And it's okay, you might notice, you can't really see my sketch there, but it's okay if you go over the lines that you've created for your sketch, because this is a lighter color, so we are going to go in with some dark colors. I'm just doing the background because I already know what I want in my foreground, and I've placed them in the areas that I want them. So Now you could use a bigger brush, but me, I prefer smaller brushes. I think I can control my brush strokes better with a bigger brush. It's just a matter of, I guess, whatever you're comfortable with as well. Hope my arm isn't covering up everything I'm doing. I think painting is always a learning process. You're always learning different techniques and different ways to enhance your painting, and I like that about this creative side. I'm just going to bring my palette down so you can see which colors I'm using. I don't know if you're able to pick that up quite easily, but now I'm going to start to go in with some green. Actually, I am going to start to go in with some yellow, I think, again on my pears, because remember what I said about you being able to go in on top of your darker colors. The same thing applies here. And some of my leaves as well, I'm going to put a bit of yellow. Not on everything, but just building up my colors here. And as we know, green is actually derived from mixing blue and yellow. Some of your primary colors, some bit of primary color knowledge there for you. Most of you already know this, so sorry for boring you. So it's not like you're mixing a brand new color when you add that green on top of the yellow. It will take quite nicely to that, actually. I'm just trying to keep, I don't want my brush to be too wet, because trying to control the amount of pigment I'm putting on my canvas from the beginning. That's why you might see me using that bit of paper towel to just take up the excess water. I'm just using some basic colors here, you guys, because I don't want you to feel like you need to start off using so many different colors or paints. I just want to show you how easy this is. You don't have to have super expensive equipment. All you need really is the desire and some imagination. Still using very light colors here. I'm gonna go in with some light green at the bottom of my leaf. Bring that up. Just adding a little bit of water. I am going to darken this up. I am, but I'm building. I am building. Showing you how easy this is. The good thing about watercolor is that you can play around with it so much in terms of, I think it just lends itself a little bit more to you practicing. I think it's a good way to practice those sort of highlights, shadows. So we've got a whole lot of green and yellow here. But that's okay. We are going to work on that. Yep. Just like that. Now I am going to start building in some darker color because I think we have to be ever so careful. We don't want to overwork this canvas. Sorry, canvas. I meant we don't want to overwork the paper. So I'm going in with some dark green. I'm going to try to add quite a bit of pigment onto my brushes because I want this to be kind of a darker green. And I'm going to start to build some more shape to my pears. So I'm just going in into areas of shadow. And you want to work quite quickly once you're at this stage because you can run into a situation where the color doesn't blend so well if you leave it to sit for too long. So you want to work as quickly as possible here. As quickly as you can. It's okay if you sort of have those areas that you can see where the colors come together, because I really like that about watercolor. And then I'm going in with some more of that dark. I'm just going to add some of that at the bottom of this again. Going even darker. Add that shadow in there. rinse some of that colour off, dab my brush, and blend. Okay, I'm going to add some more of that dark green, and this time I'm going to go to the other pear, and once again I'm using my reference because there's a bit of shadow at the bottom. I'm just putting that in with my dark colors, my dark green. Up at the side as well. Wash my brush out, dab some of the excess water, and continue to blend. And blend that up and in. Can add a bit of that sort of specks of that green into the top as well. And just blending that in a bit. Now I'm going to go in with my dark green to my leaves. And blend. Now I am going to go into this with the darker color so it pops out a bit more, but I will show you how I do that in a bit. But right now, and I just keep rinsing excess paint and going back in to blend that in. I've got some more plans for that leaf. My leaf on the top. Actually, I'll tackle this one in between. I want that color to be a bit blotchy, so I've just put flecks of green there. Rinse my brush and just blend that in a bit. And this other leaf. The dark green towards the tip because we're focusing the sunlight from this direction, so we really want the shadows to come from up underneath. So darker green, blend that in towards the top, towards the yellow. You can still see a bit of that yellow up at the top, even through that green. And this as well. I really want to encourage you guys to paint. I think it's so relaxing. I know I keep saying this, but I find it to be so relaxing. I think some people get afraid of painting, but don't be afraid to paint for yourself. Not every painting you have or have done needs to be seen by everyone. Sometimes you just need to build your confidence a bit and just play around with colors, and that's why I've done some abstract painting in this channel as well. And abstract painting isn't everybody's thing. Some people will like it, some people won't, but I just think it's a good way to get yourself to sort of relax with the paint and just do what you want to do. I am going to add a bit of red or orange because I can see that there's some in mine, but I think I'm going to change my brush. I'm going to change my brush. Actually, no, I think I will keep the same brush. Tell you why. I'll keep the same brush because I can. This round brush has a great advantage because this watercolor brush has a great advantage. You can see that you can draw fine lines with the tip, or you can sort of spread out, press down and spread out to spread that color across the canvas. Sorry, I keep saying canvas. So I'm just adding a bit of orange in here. I want to be careful, don't want to add too much, so I'm just going with a dabbing motion to sort of spread that around. I'm going to wash all of that from my brush now, and as quick as I can, I'm just going to try to blend just a little bit of water. A little bit of water. Yep, I'm happy with that. And if you notice that your brush is picking up some other colors, then would be a good time to sort of rinse your brush out and give that a dab. And I think I'm going to add some more of this color down into the bottom. I'm not using that much water. See what I mean with the tip? You can sort of control that. Okay. I've sort of wiped some of the pigment away from my brush. And I think everybody has a different technique in terms of art. Like artists all have different techniques, things that work differently for them. I think you just need to find what works for you. Oh, I'm talking too much. Going in with some more dark green. Trying to add some more texture. Just gonna move on to I've exhausted my paper towel, so I'm just using my rag. You guys don't need to see my rag. Just going in with a bit of orange at the bottom, very bottom of this other pear. Notice how I'm not spreading this all over. I'm just sort of dabbing the color in. Now I'm going to wash my brush. I don't want to put any more of that color on. I'm just going to go back in and dab that. sort of dab that in. Dab, dab, dab. See if you can blend that towards the top. I just added a touch bit more colour in there. Ooh. So, yeah. I'm still dabbing. Now I think I want to go in with a smaller brush because I want to put some details in here. And I'm using this very fine brush. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but yeah, it's just a very small brush. Because I want to now go back in with some details around the edges. Smooth that up a bit. Not doing this all over. The only issue with using such a small brush is that it doesn't hold as much water and pigment, so you have to go back in so frequently to just reapply. And now going into that area behind. Using two brushes, a bigger brush to just draw that color down and blend it out better. Smaller brush, I'll just go in with some more details on this leaf. Into that area as well. And my bigger brush, I'm just going to blend that color in up at the top. I'm going to use some more fine details on my pear over here in the corner. Oh, sorry, I hate to block your view here. Just along the ends. Larger brush, not much water, just to blend that upwards. I'm just going to pick up a little bit more color on that. I don't want that blend to be too harsh. And I'm going to continue to use this larger brush. Get rid of my little brush there, and I'm just going to put in some more details onto these leaves. I will go back in. Smaller brush to get some more details into that. Remember, if you've put down some paint that is a bit too dark, you can always go rinse your brush out, go back over that area, and you can use a paper towel to dab some of that color out. So I'm going to go into that leaf at the bottom with some fine details on the leaf, just very lightly with my paintbrush. Doesn't have to be a continuous line, but your eyes will will fill in the details. I'm going to use my larger brush. Just a little bit of water, some pigment, drag that green down a bit more. And just blend that down all the way down. I'm going to use my smaller brush again. Put in a bit of detail into that leaf. Now there's an area right here that I'm going to work on because I think I could use a bit more color in there. Just dabbing, dabbing, dabbing. I want to dabble a bit more green in there with that as well. Being careful not to put too much color on there, but yeah, just dab it. Dry my brush out and continue. Dry. There was a little bit of sort of mustard color that I'm putting in. So it blends well with that yellow. Just a bit of yellow in there as well. Oh. Okay, so I think what I want to do now is to go in and put some details in these areas with the stem of the fruit. So I'm just going in with some brown. My brush is too dry. And now I've put too much water. I think I shifted you a bit. If you can still see that. So now I'm going to go in with that mustard color to do the other side of the stem, because remember the light's coming from that direction, so we want to increase the light. Now we're going to put some mustard on here, but we need to be careful to not put too much water. So I think that's done the trick. I'm just drying that out a little bit. And this was just a really quick drawing this week. I'm trying to have a series of just really fast paintings, because I think it's always good when you're picking something up to begin with that you see results fast. Most people want to paint something and they want to see the results instantly. I'm going in with some mustard, and I'm just going to go into some areas. Quickly before that dries, wash my brush, bring some of that color. I think it's starting to dry, so just added some more pigment. Quickly add more water, bring it down. So I really hope you guys have enjoyed today's painting. If you want to see more like this, then you know what to do. Just hit that like button, subscribe, and we will try to get you some more content. If there's something else that you would like me to paint, then I am all ears. I would love feedback from you guys. I really would. I really would. I could go on with this. I'm in my element now. I could really go on with this for another couple of hours quite easily. Quite easily. But I think this is just a little dab of... I think I am going to leave that as is for the moment, and I will see you guys next week. Thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you staying for this painting. If there's anything else that you'd like to see me paint, then please let me know and I will give it a try. There are some things that I'm more comfortable painting than others, but I'm open to trying something new. And anyways, hope you guys have had a good week and stay safe. Be alert, as the government is saying, and just protect yourself and your family, as I know that you guys will do anyway. So take care, have a good week, and I'll see you again next week. Thank you. Bye.